Chris and Paul present This is the Topic. It's the adventures of two lifelong friends as they explore a new topic each episode. Join the guys for music and fun, and if you're not careful, you may learn something before it's done. I'm your announcer, Michael Foster. Now, here's Chris and Paul with This is the Topic.
Thanks, Foster. Number 3. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Paul.
How's it going?
It's good, man. It's going great. This is like my happy time of the week. I love this show.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you listened to the ones that we've done so far?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. I want to keep that charade going because I feel really good about that.
We did the first one. It was awesome because
Yeah.
we talked about actors and actresses.
Yeah. Yep.
Just what we thought. Mm-hmm. And so I had the research crew research some errors that we made.
Oh, boy.
The actress's name that is Supergirl is Melissa Benoist.
Come again?
That's her name.
Okay. Benoist?
I think so.
Okay.
Benoist.
That sounds like it. Interesting. Just rhymes with moist.
Yes, it does. The movie that Robert Duvall was not called The Prophet. It's called The Apostle.
Oh, that was a bad miss.
Yeah.
Big whiffa.
Tracy Morgan is not the star of the original OG. It's called The Last OG.
Well, that's close.
Reese Witherspoon's movie was called Walk the Line, not That Johnny Cash movie.
I think they both work.
And the movie that she was in where she walked around in the wild,
Yeah.
it's called Wild.
That one kind of makes sense.
Yeah. John Ritter played Jack Tripper, not Jack Ritter. Played John Tripper. That was me.
Wow, we really piled them up.
Tina Fey and Jason Bateman were in a movie called This Is Where I Leave You.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Laura Dern's HBO show was called Enlighten.
Did not remember that at the time.
And Jason Bateman's character was Michael Bluth, not Michael Bloom.
Oh, wow.
But when we were talking about actors and actresses, because what the show does, we just pull a topic we didn't know.
Right.
We had some pretty big hot takes. This is a big one that you did. Meryl Streep is a good actress. And I had a really hot take. Tom Cruise is a big movie star. So
That's great. That's
our research staff spent up to 2 minutes to find the right answers that you and I couldn't get right when we were talking about things.
so I'm trying to become a glass half full kind of guy.
Sure.
That just proves that we're totally extemporaneous.
Yeah.
Here. We put no preparation into this at all.
Yeah, that should silence the Twitterverse.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I was walking down the street the other day, and someone said,
we
"Hey,
go.
hey, are you on that one show?" I go, "You mean the week review?" He goes, "No, the one with the funny co-host." And I go, "Oh, this is the topic." He said, "Who writes that for you?" That's what he asked, and he wanted a job to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense because I believe that you were walking down the street and some random guy stopped you and asked to be a writer on this show.
Right.
Totally believe it.
If you really do want to put in your resume, send it to kctkradio@gmail.com. We are hiring writers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we need a whole writing staff. Can we just put this show together with just two idiots talking about stuff? Come on.
Well, based on what the research staff found, I think it's safe to say that this show is comprised of two idiots talking about stuff.
Yeah.
I still like it. Now, I think we had a harder time last week coming up with stuff.
That were facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea what the facts were.
No, we did not know that. And apparently the first week we didn't know the facts either about movie stars.
Right.
So
I have a good feeling about this week, though. It's going to be it's going to be a topic that is compelling.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make you laugh a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It may make you cry a little bit.
Oh.
It'll definitely make you think.
Okay.
Are you ready to... You have the magic bag.
I've got the magic sack.
You also have the sack.
Yes. I've also got a sack of topics.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep. Now, do I just play around in here until it goes?
No, just whatever.
Okay. Okay, this week's topic is news.
News.
And I'm going to pronounce it that way because years ago we went to the Columbia School of Broadcasting.
Yes.
And Tom Catton, the guy that ran the place, that was his big lesson. If you're going to be in radio, you have to say news. Not news. News.
Was this over there on Southwest Traffic
Southwest Traffic Way,
Yeah.
down by the old like Nichols Diner kind of thing.
And he was like pretending like he was doing an audition for us, right?
Yes.
And then he would do like I don't know if I can do it here, but like echo. Echo, can you talk during echo? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, I can do that. That's fine. And then he would like, I'm going to read some news for you. And it was like a 20-minute newscast. Do you remember this?
I do remember this. I felt like it was so surreal. I was in like an alternate reality there. Here's this old guy, and I remember him telling us all the amazing radio he had done in places like Keokuk, Iowa. Just like nowhere places.
Right. And it was kind of a dirty place.
It was dirty. He didn't smell good.
No, that's what I remember too. He didn't smell very good.
He didn't.
But we wanted to be in radio. We thought maybe that was a way
bad.
to do it.
Yeah.
I guess the studio was bigger than what we're in now, but the equipment's about not much nicer.
No, probably not as nice.
And then we do the audition, and I think he gave us both the same thing. Well, I think with a lot of work you can do it.
I think that was it too.
You can come to the Columbia Broadcasting Group for only $18,000.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
Okay, so Tom Catton was his name.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, so news.
So yeah, the topic this week is news. So we've got several questions here. First one, what do you think about... Oh,
wait, that's the news ticker.
Oh. Is this the news stinger?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about, and then I'm supposed to insert a current news story. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see what's trending on Google right now.
Okay.
So we're going to make this totally extemporaneous. Okay. I mean, the first thing that's trending is Inside Edition Deborah Norville. I don't even know what's happening with that.
She got me too, did she?
Did she?
I don't know. I had no idea.
Did she get me chewed?
Chewed on the news.
Yes.
Okay, here's Chris Whiting with the news.
Yes, okay. So, first question. What do you think about... We're going to do the Mueller report.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think about the release of the Mueller report? Paul.
First, I want to mention that Mueller...
Yeah, did I pronounce it wrong?
No, but I had my grandmother's grandfather...
Grandmother's grandfather. Okay, tracking.
Was a butcher. He had land at Lee Summit Road and Truman Road.
Okay.
Okay? His name was Miller. Okay?
Miller.
But he changed it during World War I from Mueller.
Oh.
Because it was too German sounding.
Too German sounding. Wow.
So, that's my report. I call it the Mueller report. No, I think you're talking about...
The release of the report.
Yeah, He colluded. The thing that's most fascinating to me about the Mueller report is that he did 400, 500 pages of stuff. Spanky, the new attorney general. Have you seen the guy?
Yeah.
He looks like my dad or Spanky. One of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he does this Cliff Notes version of it. In that it says this does not clear him of obstruction of justice, but then President Stupid keeps saying it did, which is terrible enough. But the news people keep saying the same thing. The truth is we don't know, and it doesn't really make a difference because they released it. There's a spin on this side. It affected no one's opinion.
Right.
You know why? Because this guy tried. The Russians helped him. He wanted the Russians to help him. He was probably too uncoordinated to have a real meaning about it. And everybody knows it. And you've already made up your decision about this guy.
I think you've summed that up perfectly.
No one said, "Oh, good. Now I like him." No, they're like, "That's bull crap."
Yeah. To me, I'm not surprised by it, but I still am a little like scratching my head as to why our president would come out and say, well, now I've been totally exonerated.
Right. Like, so you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah.
Just when I thought you could be any stupider. Mm-hmm. You do something like this and totally redeem yourself. I just...
But
I'm not shocked that he is saying that, but I'm scratching my head because that report is... the whole report's going to get out.
Yes.
His guy put in there, he's not exonerated by this.
Right. But at this point, no one's going to care.
No,
you know what I mean?
It won't change a mind.
There'll be details in there that will be slimy, and no one's really going to care.
Right.
Because here's the thing. It comes back, and it looks like the president was not even coordinated enough to have the people help him. He didn't run a coordinated campaign enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't his campaign, air quotes, that worked with the Russians. It was Roger Stone and people who weren't a part of the campaign.
Right.
Because he can't coordinate anything. So they can come back and say there was no official collusion. That doesn't change my mind. I ain't voting for the guy anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And all the people that did vote for him, it's not changing their minds either.
Well, there's a couple people I've talked to who were like just middle of the road people, and they're like, this is just too much. I got to vote for somebody else. And so the interesting conversation is, who is that person? You know,
please tell me.
Is it Joe Biden? Is it somebody else? Have you seen this? This I call him Kid.
Pete Baguglia.
Bagoo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the name of a field goal kicker, and you know what I mean, right? In the old NFL.
Yeah.
With Dick Butkus. but if you listen to him, he's smart, he's articulate, and it's like, dude, you're the mayor of South Bend.
Right.
Why don't you slow your roll a little bit? That's what bugs me about that guy. Who has enough confidence? I'm all for people having confidence, but you shouldn't have that much confidence.
I'm concerned.
You can't feel that good about yourself.
Because I lean left, but I'm so afraid that the far left is going to pick a candidate that's going to be totally unelectable, and these middle-of-the-road independents that went with Trump last time will be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't go that far to the left, and it's going to be a sinking ship and a bunch of angry millennials in the streets again.
Mm-hmm. I just hope it's someone who cares about bringing us together.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't. I mean, even like George Bush wanted us to be together.
Yeah.
He wasn't just very good at doing it. Let me ask you, the city you live in is bigger than South Bend. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's more people in it. So any of the people, just hypothetically, if you knew any of the people that ran the city you lived in, would you want any of them to be president?
I'll say this: our former mayor pro tem I would not want him to be president at all.
I think he'd be a great at it, but come on, I'd worry about him.
I'd think twice about our current mayor pro tem.
Okay.
Yeah, dear God, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, that's a big leap from local politics at a fairly small scale level.
Yeah.
To running the most powerful country in the world.
Yeah.
Too much. Okay.
That's news commentary. Here, wait. Let's make sure that we annoy some of our past listeners or other people who may be listening to us. This is dialogue again.
Oh, wow.
No, we're not doing that.
There's a blast from the past.
Okay, we're not doing that again. This is not dialogue. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you get your news?
How do I get my news? Okay. You want me to answer first?
Yeah, please.
I get my news primarily from CNN.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it in the morning. I do, during the day, try to check out the local newspaper of the city.
Yeah.
I try to check out one news station of the city. And then I look at the headlines from the major paper, which is a piece of garbage. Mostly it's a piece of garbage because if you try to click it, it'll come up with, you've looked at too many articles
every time. Oh, my God, yeah.
So I don't rely on them too much for news.
Yeah.
So and I would not say at this point in my life I'm not super informed about stuff.
You would say you're not super informed?
I'm not because, this fake news stuff, this whole thing saying it's fake news, it's because it's fake news. And it's because their priorities aren't straight. Mm-hmm. They're motivated by profit first.
Yeah.
I don't think they're terrible people where they want everyone to die for profit, but they care more about profit and clicks than anything else. And so that's the prism you have to make sure that you look at.
So let me ask you this follow-up question, and I'm totally making this up.
Yeah.
So who on one of the major news networks would you say is a fair and impartial news person?
Fair and impartial.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I would probably, I don't know. I like Brian Williams. I like the Brian Williams show on MSNBC. I think maybe because of his issues.
Yeah.
MSNBC is very liberal, though. I mean, they.
Oh God, yeah.
No, they're not really liberal. They are They are corporate Democrats. Okay, but I think he's the most impartial I can think of. But I don't watch any of them I don't like Lester Holt or those other guys during the regular. I think Grammy was the last person to watch those shows.
No, they're on in my house at night. My wife likes the news, or at least likes it in the background.
Yeah.
You know who I think is very impartial, and I think he does a great job being fair, is Chris Wallace on Fox News.
Okay. See, I would never turn that show on in the first place.
Well, so how I get my news,
yeah.
Good Morning America or KMBC 9 News is on when I'm getting ready. And then I've got my little news app, I guess, on my phone, and I look at CNN, I look at the Daily Beast, I look at Fox News, and I look at Politico. Those are my main
What
ones.
What makes you look at Fox News, though?
Because I felt guilty about this whole echo chamber thing. And like, well, I guess I am just listening to what I want to listen to. And I need to see how other people are thinking. Like, what storylines are they putting in their head, just so I can understand. Because I was so bewildered after the last election.
Yeah.
Dumbfounded. Dumbstruck. I didn't know what to say. So... So I look at all of those. When I have time to read, I like the Politico articles because they go into a little more detail than just the sound bites. And I don't know, Politico's probably as centrist as about anything I can find out there.
Now, I would have or I would look at Vox. They are so biased to the left.
Really, I've never even looked at their stuff.
I just couldn't.
Wow.
And it was more like articles. More than that, for some reason, I find this hidden agenda of being profit and click motivated more offensive than Rachel Maddow saying, "Here's what I think." You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't like the news.
Okay, well then let me ask you this, Paul.
Okay,
what do you think doesn't get enough news coverage?
Wow. Go ahead. What do you think?
I've become a believer. I don't think climate change gets enough news coverage. Not enough serious attention in the news. There's just so much on the division and the personalities in this country that we're not getting stuff like that covered. So there you go.
Yeah.
Not a funny take, but
yeah, you're right. There's no explanation of how that is affecting and where it comes from, and it makes you think. I don't know. I don't know what the answers are. We never have any answers to that. I don't think that there's enough information about like what either state or local government is doing. But there's all kinds of, this person presented this crazy idea at a school board, or this person has a feel-good thing where they gave a taco to every homeless person,
Yeah.
And we have a brand new train downtown. We can say that's local news stuff, but it's not really. Here's what's going on. But also, we do know, you and I know, nothing's going on. You know what I mean?
And people don't care. Some people do, but it's a very small percentage that care enough to be informed about what's happening locally.
And they shouldn't care. I used to think they should, but why should they?
Well, I don't know if, if they want to know what's going on, if they want to know why utility rates are, if they're upset about it, then inform yourself. But for the most part, when I was in city politics, there would be, on any particular issue, there would be a very small vocal group on one side and a very small vocal group on the other. And by and large, people didn't care.
But then again, those people weren't there to be informed either.
No, they were there to push their agenda.
Right.
Get on the news and hold signs up and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, wait, let's see if we can end with one little what gets too much attention in the news?
Wow, that's a good question.
Well, you wrote it.
Oh, thank you. I think and I think this is just a matter of being old. There's a lot of people they talk about on the news, and I feel they're forcing me to try to know who they are. There's a person that died this week, and everyone's upset, named Nipsey Russell.
Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know who Nipsey Russell is. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know who this guy is.
Right.
I think there's too much news. I'm sorry the guy died, but there's too much news of, well, did you hear that so-and-so and Justin Bieber are doing that? I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. With the segmented thing, explain to me who they are a little bit. That made me feel so stupid because it's such a sensational story that the world's upset that Nipsey Russell died. And I thought he was gone from several episodes of The Love Boat.
Yeah, I heard them talking about him today, and I had the same thing. I don't know who Nipsey Hussle is.
Right.
But then I'm like, I'm old. I guess I'm not supposed to. I don't know.
No, well, here's the real answer. This is what infuriates... Oh, my God. We're going to go long here. This is what infuriates me.
Yeah.
People on Twitter are saying... People on Twitter are mad at so-and-so.
Yes.
And then you see the local news just throw a Twitter thing out like it's an opinion, like it's real. Forget it. Too much doing the news on what Twitter says.
Yes.
And what social media, it's not real. Just because you say something on Twitter doesn't mean you really believe that or think that. And I know people say, yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. I don't believe you.
No, we've hit a time where people feel courageous for having a 140 character opinion that they throw out. And
if you look now, it'll be
doing their civic duty.
There'll be headlines that say the internet has trashed the Jonas Brothers about. No, they didn't. There's one guy that did that. No one cares.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
Yes. Well,
and he doesn't care enough. All he did was do the thing.
Yeah. So I saw this last night. A similar example. Jim Carrey did a painting of Mussolini hanging upside down. That's how he died. Or they hung him upside down after he died, however it went. And so the headline was, Jim Carrey excoriated about Benito Mussolini painting. So I go to Twitter to look. Well, it was Mussolini's granddaughter said, "This is terrible that you did this." And then just a bunch of people piling on her going, "Did you know that your grandfather was an asshole?" So it wasn't Jim Carrey just getting raked over the coals. It was he ticked off Mussolini's granddaughter.
But then the TV people get on like it's real. And that's, to answer your question, that's what's overreported on the news.
Oh, wow. Well done. Way to put a bow on that one.
Yeah.
Well, so we got a little serious this time, but I think maybe it's a step up from the facts one.
Yeah, I think so. Because we believe in this, I guess. I just say don't believe anything on the news, any of it. Just don't believe any of it.
I think that's good advice. They tuned in for fun and they got some practical life advice here.
Which is why this show and other shows that I do are the most believable ones, because I'm telling you right now, don't believe a word we say. Okay? All right, any last words, Chris?
No.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
This is the Topic has been a KCTK production, produced by Chris Whiting and Paul Lavoda. All rights reserved. For more information and content, email us at kctkradio@gmail.com. I'm your announcer, Michael Foster.